Hi, it's Anthony Quinn here from the CARP National Office, and in this tutorial we'll be going through the steps to send an electronic newsletter to your chapter email catchment area email lists using the third-party software Campaign Monitor. Campaign Monitor is available to every chapter for free. The bills go to the CARP National Office, so you're encouraged to send out your correspondence to chapter members on email using this software. From the login page, which is carp.createsend.com, enter your username and password. Click the green login button. And on this page, I'm getting a look at the back end of every chapter's account that we have set up inside Campaign Monitor. But when you log in, you will only be seeing your own local chapter account with Campaign Monitor. So let's begin by using a sample chapter. We'll use the Kingston chapter as an example. So to create a new campaign, that is what Campaign Monitor calls the electronic newsletter or e-blast, we're going to click the green plus sign to begin. And following that, it's simply a matter of following the instructions on the page. We send regular campaigns, and the first box we have to fill out is the campaign name. The campaign name is your internal reference. It's not being seen by your recipients, so this is a way for you to keep track of your newsletters. The next box defaults to that title, but we want to change that because this will be the email subject line for this campaign. This is what your recipient will read first thing when they receive your email. So this is one of the most important editorial decisions for the newsletter. You have to ensure that it's informational and it's exciting enough that they will click to read what you have to say in your newsletter. So as an example, important news from Kingston CARP chapter. I want you to use your name and identify yourself as the chapter chair or whoever's sending out this document. It could be from Bob Smith, communications chair, and then an email address that contains your affiliation with CARP. We don't want you using home or office email addresses for these correspondences, so please use your CARP email address. And then replies go back to whoever in your chapter will be responsible for saving or receiving them. So in this case, I'll just send them back to myself. And we click the green button and move on to the next page. So again, we're following a color-coded system here, and you just follow along with the options. Next page is to choose the templates. We ask that all chapters remain on the same template across the country. That way, whether you live in PEI or Victoria, you're getting the same style of message from your local CARP chapter. That controls the image and brand of CARP, but the content will all be localized coming from you. So we're going to use one of the templates provided to you, and you will have an updated 2012 chapter template in your page, chapter newsletter, and select next. And now we see on the right hand side the template that is yet to be edited, and on the left hand side we have a blackboard or a chalkboard where we'll do the work to enter the content into your newsletter. So on the right hand side we have these three buttons: edit, garbage, and add new. If we want to click edit, that will open up the editor in the left-hand box. And now we can begin to enter text and content on the left-hand side, and it shows up on the right-hand side. So where it says enter your title, you can enter something like that, and that's the title for your first story. In the description, you can enter some text that will appear on the right-hand side of your story. So whatever you do on the left-hand side in the editor, it appears on the right-hand side inside the template. Another option for text is to copy and paste from another source. I'm going to open up the CARP website in another tab, click on a new story, and let's say this information is important for my story. I'm going to highlight this, and edit, and copy that information, and then go back to my editor, and where I have my cursor right here, I'm going to paste that by pressing the Control V button, Control and V at the same time. If you're on a Mac, it's Command and V, but on a PC, press the Control button and the V at the same time, and that will paste the text into your story. So that all looks pretty good. It loses a little bit of the formatting, so if you have bolds or italics, it may lose it, but you can come back and that will save you having to type in the information again. So now in this story we have our headline, misspelled, and then we have the body text. Now I want to add an image to the story that matches the text. So I click choose file, and this will help me find an image on my computer. Well, let's see if we have any images on this computer. I believe we do. Lots of CARP pictures. And here's an image from my computer. It's a carp fish. So now I have the title, I've added an image, and then I have my body text. I'm happy with that, and I click the button, Save Changes. So you'll see on the right-hand side, this is the first story of our newsletter. I'm quite happy with that, but I have more information to add, so I'm going to click Add New. And that will open up a new tile here where we can begin editing our new story on the left-hand side. So again, I'm going to enter a title. And if anybody's familiar with HTML language, you can enter some HTML tags. Example, the BR, which stands for break inside these brackets, will break your line into two. So if you add BR inside a bracket, you'll see on the right hand side that the headline is split into the lines at each break. So erase this. Let's start again. As I go through, and then we enter description, and I'm just going to use the same information that I copied last time from the web page. Hit Control and V, and there is my text in my story again. Again, we'll choose an image, select Choose File. I'm going to go back a little bit and find another picture. No, we'll use a fish again, just because it's handy. And now I have 2 stories with 2 titles and 2 images. Click Save Changes because I'm happy. And on the right hand side, we see that there's 2 stories in our newsletter, and it's almost ready to go. Let's say I'm looking at this story and I decide that the second one in order is more important than the first one. I can use this button here, the arrows going north, south, east, and west, and I click and I drag that button, and this takes the whole story and moves it to the top. So now my second story is in the first position. And again, if I want to move that, I can drag it back down, and the second story pops into the first place. Well, wait up a bit. Drag that down. It's not working. Let's try dragging the first one up again. There we go. It's easier that way. So we can drag it up, if not down. The third option we have to add are advertisements in the left-hand column here. This is where you can add information of from your supporters or advertisers who are supporting your chapter with either financial backing or with goods or services in kind. So we follow the same progress. We click Add New to add a new advertisement. Oh, forget that part. I'm going to delete this one. What we do is we click Edit because the first advertising space is already here. If you have no advertisements, you should click the garbage can box here so that you won't have an empty space in your newsletter post. So we're going to click Edit, and this is more of an advertising, so we choose an image. I'm going to use this one again, and now you see my carp fish is now here in the advertising box. I can add a title, which will show up in this box beneath the fish. And this can be something that they're offering CARP members. And in this sprocket here, click that, and we can make it a link so it goes to their website. Click there, and I enter the URL. If I want to just make an email address, get into the email address. And let them know how they got that email. And the second thing we can do here is add more text. So the description of the offer is available, and you can, it's at your discretion how much or how little information you want to allow your advertiser to add. But if they are a good supporter, they may be deserving of more editorial space in your newsletter. So they can add as much or little text as you like, but it's up to you to enter this content. The advertiser will have no access to this, so you will need their image and their text. And we click Save Changes, and now we have 2 stories and a nice advertisement in our newsletter. If we wanted to add another advertisement, we would click that box again, choose the file from your own computer, select that, and here's our title. And now we have our second advertisement. We can also make the image a link, add link, have the capital locks on, but that won't make a difference. And we insert that, and I can make the title a link as well. It will help drive more traffic to your advertiser's website. And we'll click Save Change. And now we think we've done everything we have to do for this newsletter. I'm going to click the top right-hand corner, the preview button, and this will give us a look at what the newsletter will look like as it goes out to your recipients. So our first story is the Holiday Carp Chapter Meeting on December 25th with an image and some text to go with it. Our second story is the title of the first story, and we've broken the line into two. And on the left-hand column, you see we have our two advertisements with a fish sale and 20% off for carp members. If we click on this picture, it will take us to the advertiser's website, and we can check that right now. I click on that, and it opens up the carp.ca page. And in the case of the first ad, if we click on this highlighted item, it should be an email already addressed. But I don't have email set up on this computer, but you can trust me on that. And if we click fish sale under here, we entered another link to the carp.ca website. So that'll help your advertisers get some traction from your members. And when we are happy that everything works, all our links work, we go to the top right hand corner again, click Define Recipients, and that takes us back into Campaign Monitor where we choose the email addresses we want to send it to. I'm going to select the two chapter lists and click Next. Now we'll see that we have a snapshot for our newsletter, the campaign name, the subject, who it's from, and the reply to address. If we wanted to edit the content of either of these, we would click the edit button on the right hand side. This would take us back to the beginning. And this one would open up the editor again if we wanted to make more changes. Back to the snapshot. Okay, and then once we're happy with everything, we see that it's going to 1,628 unique email addresses. Follow the green arrow. The next step is to test. I want you to send an email to yourself and check out how it looks when you receive it. Send the test email. So now in my own email address, I will find a copy of that newsletter. I go to my email, I look at it, and I'm happy with what I see. And now I can go to the next button and arrange payment. You can send the campaign immediately, or you can deliver it at a time and date that you prefer. If you're working on it on let's say a Saturday evening and you want it to go out Monday morning, you can set the date and time to send it out. And the last step is to click Pay for this campaign. That will open up our credit card payment. The credit card information is already entered, And the last thing you'll do is hit the Send Now button. So that is those are the steps for creating a newsletter using Campaign Monitor. I hope this has been helpful. I'm happy to walk through it with anyone who needs some one-on-one, but this might be a good way to work through it yourself by hitting the pause and play button on this tutorial and trying it yourself. You're welcome to create as many tests as you want. Just be sure not to click the send button unless you are really sure you want it to be received by all your cart members. Thanks very much.